Today we're gonna talk about a very interesting topic about death of CRM systems. And first of all, why we actually talk about death of CRM systems. The main death is coming from these type of systems like Copilot, Claude, and I'll talk about Mobilism and Pressmaster. So all of these are actually AI agents, and the whole conversation started when I've read an article like several weeks ago. There was a huge stock slide, so a lot of companies got depreciated, and most of the people thought that it coincided with the Anthropic release of their new Claude and co-work solution. This is quite interesting because if when you start reading a little bit more about it, you'll see that also Intuit, the company who's behind QuickBooks, MailChimp, is actually in 2025. There is a typo here. In 2025, they lost like 37% of their total value on the market. And it's not just them. So if you take a look at other tech software, ETF fund, it dropped in 2025 for 22%. And most of them I've actually started like to investigate why it's happening. If we take a look at this Intuit particularly, it was doing all right during the whole year, but then it started to slide around January. But in Workday, it's the same. They lost it last year 46% of their, like half of the value of their company. If we look at Salesforce, that does CRM systems, they lost again 40%. HubSpot, nearly 70% of their total value in the market. So any system, any software system is losing a lot of money. So there is a huge shift. And these particular companies are most interesting, relevant for us because they are CRM only companies. So they are not doing anything else. They have CRM. So obviously this one has marketing. These are typical software companies, but it's not happening to everyone. So if we take a look at other companies like Microsoft, even though that in a year it lost only 4%, but it was growing during the whole year until it reached again this February, January release. So what's happening with Microsoft? They don't have any decent model like Google has. Google has their Gemini, and a lot of people in different tests and different benchmarks, they see it's doing quite all right. So this is why they are on the right track. So plus 60%. Microsoft has their model, but they were a little bit, I'll say, passive in that direction. So their model is quite weak at the moment. But I think there is a huge push to get back on track. So they still doing all right. So that it's not that bad as I could see as with the other companies. And obviously anyone who's involved in AI is doing quite good. So I'm not talking about Intel. Intel is not doing well, but AMD, NVIDIA that produce the chips, they are doing really well. And if we take a look at Anthropic and OpenAI, they're not yet traded, but you can see the valuation during the rounds of investment. And so by the way, at the end of October, OpenAI literally costs half of Microsoft. So Microsoft is a $1 trillion company, and OpenAI costs $500 billion. It was plus 70%, and with Anthropic, they grew nearly 200%. So what we have here is that there is obviously a lot of professionals on the market. They think that AI will change a lot how we work and how people are using the systems, software systems, first of all. So whatever right now we are creating, we are thinking about interfaces and so on, it's not going to be working like that. It's not, there is no, the market is moving in the different direction. Obviously it can change, there will be corrections here and there, but in reality, the whole software market is changing. It will be it will not be the same how we see it right now. So let me go a little bit back. I would just wanted to show you one slide again back. So here And so the biggest event which happened around this, that the legal companies, the systems, the companies that were providing legal information actually dropped quite significantly. So this LexisNexis, you probably don't know about it, but any person who's doing like any legal stuff, this is the source, go-to source. It's like Costa for real estate. Everyone uses it. And also Thomson Reuters. You probably know this from the Reuters, the news website, but they also provide a lot of analytical information. Their shares also slipped when Anthropic Claude announced their legal plugin. So basically just one plugin, when it was announced, it started to kill a lot of old companies. So let me just go back and tell you about this plugin. So there are different, again, benchmarks, but in this particular case, benchmark from Big Law, it's quite reputable. Apparently, they did a run, evaluated the results that Claude was producing, and they measured it to be 90% of their benchmark score. And how it works, they basically, what they do, they have a lot of different questions, asking different different lawyers about how to answer like this legal situation, that legal situation, drafting contracts, and so on. So a lot of questions, and then they do the answer quality analysis. Is it good? Is it bad? So this 90% means that it actually much better than most of the people that try to pass this benchmark. And it's literally on the level of like the best results that they can achieve. So this small plugin affected the whole market of what's happening with the legal industry. So yeah, that's quite a big change. Obviously, there will be corrections. It's not, companies will try to do something about it, but we definitely see the trend that legal work will be disrupted quite significantly. And about this Harvey company, which I wanted to mention, they, for example, one of their biggest, as far as I understand, biggest customer is HSBC, what a huge banking corporation. So it's something to look for. And on the next slide, I'll show you exactly how that legal plugin works. So when you basically what's happening, Anthropic has its own like interface. You install it locally on your computer, and pretty much you deploy different plugins, whatever you want to have on the system. Let me go into the settings. Nope. Sometimes not sure. Okay, plugins here. So yeah, you install different plugins. There are quite a few available, but yeah, they try to create marketplace. So far there is nothing but their version, and most of them are version 1.0. And again, this is like 2 weeks old. So obviously there is not much besides the Anthropic. And when you install the legal plugin, what it has, it basically has a trained like LLM or trained additional source of data. It has some custom predefined prompts, some skills that it can do. And how it works, you basically go into a work, right? And you asking as a regular chat, for example, draft your contract, right? And you call that plugin legal. I think this one is canned responses. So what it will do, you obviously can pick the model that you want to use. It defines where it's going to be, all the results will be produced and saved. For instance, if it needs some information to store like temporary data, and it will start creating you a contract. In some cases, it takes time, like in this one, right? Okay, so most important thing to see here is that how it works. Basically, you execute everything on the desktop, and yeah, for example, non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, that's additional questions. And this is how it works and envisioned by Anthropic, that you're gonna be using plugins like additional skills, and a lot of companies will be providing them. And all you need to do is just select, for example, marketing, finance, customer support, different like product management, sales. And it tells you, for example, with sales, it can do some research. And I would say that at the moment, the system is a little bit buggy. It's not responsive. So yeah, there is something that they need to improve, but in any case, they're on the right path. Okay, so let's go back to our most important topic, is the CRM. And the challenges with the CRM is these several companies. They, I think, in my opinion, they represent where everything is heading to. It's not, doesn't mean that it will stop here. It could be even, it will move even further. But if we just start to think, what is CRM? A good example is that CRM is a tool, right? And CRM is used to make sales. But if you think about it, we don't need the tool. We need the sales in most cases. And it's in modern CRM is just one of the tools that was, if we take a look historically, initially, so it evolved. Initially, there was no automation. Everyone used their phone books, their email, contact list. This is all sales, how it was done. So you just store notes and called next person in the list. And with CRM 2.0, and new companies like Zebo, Dynamics, Microsoft, and Salesforce, when they appeared, they started to create a funnel. You had leads, qualified, proposal. You'd see your pipeline and forecast. So this is all was about just tracking and structuring all of your sales deals and so on. With the new, the latest one, which we are very familiar, it is all about sequences, capturing intent from the website, making sales call recordings, doing transcription. And in that one, the most active in that direction was such systems like Outreach, Salesloft for the sequences, then Zoom in for and 6sense for capturing data on the website, just capturing who visited your website, making them the call. So just a lot of technology put together to get you the information from the company and to call at the right time. So it was all about standardizing processes, marketing, and it around automation. Next one, the new era which is coming is agentic era, where all you do is you're making decisions. You're not configuring anything. You're not setting everything up. You're just making decisions which way to go and how to execute. And now I'll show you the next one. So the first one which I want to show you is called Marbleism. Here we go. So their idea that the interface would be like speaking to employees or your team members. So you have different people, different agents for different roles. You have social media, blog writer, sales associate, legal, receptionist, and I'll go through with each of them. So for example, this one, social media, what it does, you initially, when you set it up, you just talk, you explain what your company does, what your goals, what you know. So basically you define guidelines, content, image style, also what you want to see, because it will be generating images, writing style, how do you write? You can actually put some even examples of your writing. And eventually what it will do, carrying all of this information, every day it will start to create you a social media post. And depending on the channel, it will understand, it will actually use the best practices. So this is the good thing. And you will just click publish in one go, and it will go straight away to this, to your profile. And in this case, for blog writer, it will go to the website. The blog writer also has capability of doing search engine optimization. So this is important for anyone who creates articles. So agents will create like lead magnets for you, publishing it constantly on your behalf. Again, the information here, that's typical problem that you'd want to check first what is written here. But you also can just put some description. For example, you could dictate what you want to talk about, and the system will take your, let's say, your dictation or your voice recording and will put it into article automatically. So you don't have to write anything. It will create a nice looking picture. You don't need to do anything. So it will use your guidelines just exactly as you want. And so this, we're talking about social media. These ones will be the lead magnets. They will create lead magnets for you. And we have the sales associate. This one will create a sequence for you. So for example, it will get you a list of leads from sources. You can actually, so right now you can connect different sources automatically through APIs, or you can upload your leads that you want. Then it will do send emails, send LinkedIn invites, send messages, and so on. And everything, all of what you see here, it's automatically created. I've just explained what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and it created everything automatically. I didn't have to configure anything, any of this text. Obviously, you can change if you want, but everything what you see here is was created by the system. I've maybe tweaked a little bit, but because if I don't like anything, I just can change it. And what it does on a daily basis, it finds me new leads and it does the outbound. Yeah, and as you can see, it's not effective. But in any case, you can revise and improve. But again, I was mostly running it for experiment rather than actually doing anything. And it will do on its own, just telling you what's happening. Like in this case, it wrote me that someone accepted my LinkedIn invitation. So yeah, it basically tells you on a daily basis what's happening, and you can actually just like talk to it. Another thing, this is reception. This is actually a working phone number. When you call there, it will start speaking natural voice that's about the company, like that you called to a company if you want to leave a message and so on. And it sounds really natural. But when I asked if you are an AI agent, it said, yes, I'm an AI agent. But it was, again, really natural conversation. I wouldn't even think that it is AI. It was that good. Then we have executive assistant, also quite interesting solution. What it does, it basically puts all of your emails in different labels and boxes. It creates drafts, replies, and so on. So this is like the perfect, if or obviously it works at 100%, because not everything works here perfectly. But if when it will be working at 100%, it will save you a lot of time, especially for people who are involved in sales. It will save, yeah, for this week, well, at least it estimated that it saved me 25 hours. And I think that's true because I've experimented with some social media postings and it was easy. Yeah, I just created like a bunch of social media posts and it's posted according to my plan. One second, let me just show it to you. So yeah, and I literally just had to put some text and it basically created very interesting solution. And next one, again, I wanted to show you that the user experience will be sitting in some interface talking to your assistants or agents, and they will be actively working on your behalf. Another one, even more advanced solution, is called Pressmaster. This one is focused only around the social media, but it's also a really clever way how it can work. And so let me just go to the first of all, you create your digital twin. This is the information that you know. So what it will do, it will post on your behalf to create different social media posts for you. But first of all, you need to provide information that what you know. It could be like an interview. It will analyze your knowledge, what you vision, expertise, different industry domain, and so on and so on. And you can actually upload a lot of materials here. You can add like YouTube videos. You could add a lot of materials. I think even books in PDF. So the system will be really knowledgeable. It will know a lot of things. It will kind of become your digital twin. And afterwards, all you need to do is just to, first of all, go to Trendmaster, select what topics you are most interested in. So let's say you type that you're interested in real estate and, for example, AI, and it will tell you what's happening on the market right now and what is more relevant to write about. So this one, let's say I want to write about this thing. I just click create me a social media post. This is like predefined. You can obviously change it. You can use your knowledge, twin intelligence. You can add whatever information you want to do. And you can just pick the social media that you want to post in. And it will create an article like this one. Again, this was a test. However, you can actually, for example, if you have something already done, you can paste it here in they call it Supernova. What it will do, it will create you a lot of different content for LinkedIn, 6 LinkedIn posts. Just out of using one material, it will create you a lot of information for, like, it will create you a calendar of events. So in this case, it's very focused. It's not like the previous one, but what's good about it, it tries to learn about you quite a lot. This thing I think is very interesting because for anyone who's doing sales, and again, CRM is about sales, first of all, that's all your knowledge put together here. You can automate your LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, but any social media, and then it will work as a lead magnet, and people will be converting into it. Well, coming to you for any questions. Only they will see you as an expert. So this is quite interesting. But let's go to one something that we work daily. So I'm gonna talk about Copilot, right? In Copilot, let's try the first one, the also a similar one, like Melissa, the marketing operations. This is also, I'm trying to use the same approach that when you have all the agents, but very narrowly specialized. I think it's a little bit more interesting idea because at the moment, right now, we don't know what will definitely happen. Is that the market will go either into like specific agents, or there would be like the experience as Anthropic showed. So over here in this example, what I'm going to do, I'll just write that I have an office in Houston, Valeria, and I need email to be delivered to anyone who can be interested in this space. When I enter this information, again, this is a like pre-alpha version, but it will try to understand. Yeah, it asks me question, for example, the building name. Okay, let's do the building name. Going to be a tower. It will create me an HTML. It will try to create me a segment of people who have similar size building, who are interested in Houston area, in central office in Galleria. It's basically central downtown of the city, and also who have a lease expiration date within 12 months, because we obviously don't want to send that to everyone, but only to those who are more interested. It's what it did. Okay, so something is missing. Available starting July 1st. Okay, fine. And what it will do, it will create me HTML, and it will create a structure output. Okay. So again, this is a really simplistic, but what it can do, it can go into the system, like your CRM system. It can pull in, or any other database that you have. It can pull the relevant information and basically create the output. And if you configure it, if it is configured properly, you do it in just a few clicks. So you don't need to like spend a lot of time like I did right now. And this HTML is working. I can show it to you, but just don't want to spend time. So this system could actually then eventually push into Dynamics or any other marketing system, create the distribution list, create the emails, and it can communicate directly with any of the marketing system on your behalf, and it's done. Basically, you just created the email, and if it's again, it can use a template that was approved. Next one is also a different use case. So I want to calculate my commission, how much I can earn from this particular deal, and yeah, I think it will ask me some additional questions about the start, the duration of the contract. No, it didn't ask me. So yeah, it took the duration 5 years, right? And it started from now. Well, there are some placeholders. Obviously, you can fill it with more correct data. So what it does, it again on your behalf will communicate with your financial system or other systems to pull any of the data and tell you, for example, if you are on the threshold, for example, if you are crossing from 3% commission to 5% commission. So all of that is really kind of to show what is possible. And actually, this all could be updated in the system straight away. You don't even need to go into systems anymore. So that is, let me go back to our slide. So yeah, and if we take a look at what's happening. So with CRM, like first version, and you had to do everything. You had to call, you had to track, you had to create materials, you had to do everything to generate the lead. And so there was no automation, basically just tracking what was happening. In CRM 2.0, you still do everything, but the tracking got a little bit better. And there is some calculations, you have predictability. 3.0, you had to automate everything a lot initially, but then everything was kind of automated and you would get a lot of information coming from the market. So but again, you'd spend still a lot of things, a lot of time manually configuring the system. And in this one, you just again tell the direction and approve. You don't need to do anything. If you are happy with results, again, at the moment, agents are not that smart, not that good, but eventually they will be better. And the result will be, again, you will not spend a lot of time. All you need to do is just tell direction and approve. This is how new AI agents is killing CRM. And yeah, that's pretty much all